Not sure why it's telling me that. No idea what's going on here. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Landon here. We're going to be talking about we got a tornado warning in effect for Hardin County. You just saw the extension pop up on radar, and this is just north of Buffalo, and basically this is a baseball hail producing thunderstorm with a minimum of 70-mile-an-hour straight line winds, and there's multiple sources. We're going to go straight to velocity here. As you can see, just to the north of Buffalo here, there's a lot going on right here, north of Buffalo. I mean, you can see there's a lot of spin in this. I mean, there's a lot of rotation going on, a lot of spinning of the atmosphere there. As you can tell, this view that we're looking at is showing the winds going toward and away from the radar. But to go back to reflectivity, and you can see lightning count here, 834 lightning strikes. Alright, so this is what the National Weather Service is saying. Tornado warning for northeastern Hardin County in northwestern South Dakota until 6:45 p.m. Mountain Daylight Time. At 6:15 p.m. Mountain Daylight Time, severe thunderstorm is capable of producing a tornado located 8 miles south of South Cave Hills or 9 miles northeast of Buffalo, moving east at 40. Baseball-sized hail in a tornado. Radar's indicated rotation. As you max hail size with this is 2 3/4, so we're talking almost 3-inch hail. You can see in the area, and you can see this thing has a massive hail core here with this. Let's just look at that before we get into some of the other tools on this. Hail. The area dark red right here, that is your pockets of large hail. And then all the rest of this in red, you can see that's a pretty good hail core there. As you can see, almost 900 lightning strikes right now being detected by the Rapid City radar. Switching over to the storm relative velocity. All right, again, we're looking at, this is the storm relative velocity. So this is showing the same thing as what the base velocity is, or very similar to the base velocity. And you can see it's kind of showing the same area, showing those brighter colors, kind of also telling us there's a lot of spin going on. So let's look at our rotation tool. As you can see, there's definitely a pretty good area of rotation, which is why the tornado warning was extended for Hardin County. Buffalo, here's Buffalo right down here. So this is actually east of Highway 85 right now, as far as the main area of rotation. So Harding, Perkins, and over into Corson County, you're under a severe thunderstorm watch. Black Hills, you're kind of protected by the heat today. And you can see there's a big chunk of severe thunderstorms up into northwestern North Dakota. And then as you can see, and this is being driven by, you got this warm front, you got this cold front, you got a trough, you got a low pressure system. A lot of key ingredients at play here. Oops. All right, so now what I'm going to do, so let's take a look at some of the all right, so I'm going to turn on one of my fancy tools here. Let's go probability of severe objects for the storm. So we're talking for this tornado warning storm, and look at this, folks. 98% probability of hail. Right now the hail is down to 1 and 1.62 inches, but I'm seeing indications here on reflectivity that's much larger hail than that. That's a very well organized hail core with this. Probability of straight line wind damage, 82%. So we saw on both the base velocity and the storm relative velocity that there's definitely a lot of wind. There looks like there's definitely some spinning of the atmosphere. And right now, this is saying 52% probability of a tornado. So you're looking at higher than 50% probability of a tornado with this storm. And you can see there's a really, really good, if I shut the tornado warnings off here for a second, and our probability of severe objects off, you can see right here, there's a really good inflow coming into this. However, this is not the backside of the storm. But this is where your inflow is, right here. Area in white, that's our hail core. Probably larger hail. All right, so in the last update here, with you still got this nice inflow going here, but I mean, just look at this hail core here. That's a pretty good hail producer. Probability of hail, 99%. Probability of wind, 83%. Tornado threats drop down to 28%. But now see, looking at the mesh, which is telling us our hail size here, it's back climbing again. Which makes sense for what I'm seeing here on the reflectivity. Going back over to the base velocity, ooh, I'm concerned about this area right in here. I'm thinking this could be where our tornado is, right here. If there's a tornado, I'm thinking it's right in this area. I mean, it could also possibly be right back here too. But I'm thinking it's somewhere right in this area. Lightning's actually gone down a little bit too. That's a good sign. Let's see what the rotation is saying. Alright, so what we're going to do. Alright, so I need to zoom out just a tad bit here. Oh, jeez. Okay, so if you look at this, so on the right over here, this is the velocities. This is winds going toward and away from the radar. And you can see there's another pocket of rotation right here. And then I'm still concerned about these two pockets right down here. Again, this is tornado warning. Now, over here on the left, this is rotation. So we got on our right side here, we got the velocity of the winds going toward and away from the radar, and then on the left side of the screen we got the rotation, and you can see that that's just forming into a line of rotation there. It looks like it's getting more organized. All right. So we're going to change our left panel, here we go, over to the reflectivity live radar here. Then I'm going to turn off my probability of severe objects. So one thing I'd like to know, all right, so over here on the left is the current radar, live radar. My concern with this is the tornado warning part of the storm is down out. I mean, I'm thinking it's still right in here. You can see this is trying to form a hook echo. This is a classic hook trying to form right here. Or right here. This is that hook. You can see the inflow. It's really organized inflow. So then over here on the right, you can see the reflectivity. And I mean, it's showing up right where that hook is trying to form, where that inflow is. But what I would like to point out is right up in here. I mean, there could be another warning coming out here for Hardin County. I think a third warning could be coming, because that's telling me there's, I think there's another warning going to be coming out shortly based off of some of the indication I'm seeing, because I think there could be another area that could be producing another possible tornado just to the north here of this current tornado warning storm. I mean, there's two really distinctive hail cores with this. All right, let's run through the current warnings here. All right. Nope, that's actually, all right, yeah. All right, so let's go back to one. So we're going to go back to one radar screen here for a second. as you can see, looking up into North Dakota here, there's just a line of severe thunderstorms marching pretty much across the state, but the lone tornado warning right now in the United States is here in Hardin County, South Dakota. So with the exception, so again, you can see Hardin County, severe thunderstorm watch. Perkins County, severe thunderstorm watch. Corson County, severe thunderstorm watch. For any of my friends that are up in the Lemon area watching this live right now, you need to be on the lookout for this storm, because this is a nasty and potentially destructive storm. It's already had funnel reports over here in Dakota County, Montana earlier. I mean, it's currently tornado warned. No indication of any confirmed tornadoes yet with this, which is a good thing. But sure, a lot of rotation, a lot of wind with this. I'm going to say the worst of this is just to the north of Ludlow. I mean, and keep in mind, these storms are moving at a pretty good clip. And when I say good clip, I'm talking these storms are moving at 50 miles an hour. So they're fast-moving storms with baseball-sized hail and possibly a tornado. I mean, I see multiple areas. Again, we're looking at the base velocity here. I see one area right here that might indicate rotation. I'm still concerned about this up here. I mean, this is some really colorful signatures. There's another signature to the east of Highway 85 in between Ludlow and Buffalo there. To the west of Ralph. I mean, just look at how quick the radar is having to update the data here on the velocities. I mean, this is... Let's go back over to the rotation. Not seeing a lot of bright colors, but there's definitely still two areas, well-defined areas of rotation here. With this, again, there's not, I mean, this one up here, as you just saw with the velocities, kind of made me believe that this was the bigger area of rotation. Then you got this one down by south of. Alright, so we just got some updates and some storm reports, so let's go back to the reflectivity. We're going to run through the update on this tornado warning. Tornado warning remains in effect for Hardin County until 6:45 p.m. 6:32, severe thunderstorms capable of producing tornado 21 miles east of Buffalo, moving east of 50, baseball-sized hail, and tornado radar indicated rotation. Alright, so let's talk about how destructive. So, city of Buffalo, or 1 mile north of Buffalo, they had a wind gust here of 84 miles an hour. 84 miles an hour. And then we had some 9 miles north of Buffalo, 3-inch hailstorm report. And then 7 miles north of Buffalo, there was a 2.5-inch hail report. So, all right, let's go back to the velocity, see what we're seeing here. Alright, I'm going to split this into two panels here. Right. So, over on the right side of your screen, this is the rotation. You can see the color code here on the left side of the right hand screen. So you can see the brighter the colors, the stronger the rotation are. They're not very bright right now, but this is still telling me there's two areas of rotation. Now, looking over here to the left side of the screen, this is all the base velocities, which is pretty much showing us the same thing as what our rotation is. Our rotation tool is just basically telling us what the winds are doing. So basically what all these tools are doing is just telling us that the winds in the atmosphere are spinning. Okay. So let's go back over to Hail Tracker now. So right around Ralph here, we got an area of giant hail. Let's turn our storm probability severe objects back on. Just let's see what the updates are showing here. 99% probability of hail, 87% probability of wind, and our tornado threat's gone back up to 39%. So right now we're looking at the mesh. We're looking at hail size in between 1.5 and inch and 3/4. So we're talking just smaller than golf ball, maybe pushed closer to that golf ball size right now. As you can see, also with our lightning counter, 854 lightning strikes. And as you can see, I just turned on the lightning. As you can see, a lot of lightning. This is why we got the lightning counter on. Just to give you an idea of where and how much lightning is with this storm. So, again, there's 6 minutes remaining on this tornado warning for Hardin County. We're going to see if they're going to extend this into Corson County. They very well could, or they could downgrade this to a severe thunderstorm warning with the potential to upscale it again back to a tornado warning. So, moving east at 42 knots now. Looking at right around 2-inch hail with this. Alright, so you can see this area in white right here, just to the south to the south of Ralph here. That's a growing hail core again. So hail's going to be a big concern with this. I mean, this white that's developed here on radar, all this pink, purple, white, That's the purples and white is hail. Pink could be really heavy rain, torrential rain, but that also could be the smaller hail. Let's go back to the, hold on, data just updated here. Looking at still around 1.5 inches. Okay, so new severe thunderstorm warning. This is for, hold on here. Let's do this. There we go. Alright, so National Weather Service in Rapid City has issued a severe thunderstorm warning for northeastern Hardin County, northwestern Perkins County until 7:30 p.m. Mountain Daylight Time this evening. Until 7:30 p.m. Mountain Daylight Time, 6:39, severe thunderstorm is located 4 miles south of Ralph or 24 miles east of Buffalo, moving east at 40 miles an hour. This is a destructive storm for Ralph and Lodgepole. 80-mile-an-hour wind gusts and baseball-sized hail. Source radar indicated. This is a dangerous storm. Prepare immediately for large destructive hail capable of producing significant damage. People outside should move to shelter inside a strong building and stay away from windows. This is an extremely dangerous situation with tornado-like wind speeds expected. Remain alert for a possible tornado. Tornadoes can develop quickly from severe thunderstorms. If you spot a tornado, go at once to the basement or small central room in a sturdy structure. So, so we got a new tornado warning out. This is for, so this is kind of on the backside of the storm here, folks. New tornado warning just came out for Corson and Perkins, or Hardins and Perkins County. This is in effect until 7:15 p.m. Mountain Daylight Time at 6:41. Severe thunderstorm is capable of producing a tornado 7 miles northeast of Riva or 27 miles east of Buffalo, moving east 35. Tornado and baseball-sized hail. Radar indicated rotation. So let's just see what our rotation tool here is saying. We're going to shut off our, well, let's take a look at this. Turn this on, turn that off. 38% probability of a tornado. Shut that off for a second. We're going to go back to base velocity. And we're looking probably somewhere right in this general vicinity where my fingertips are. Somewhere right in here where the tornado is going to be. Probably somewhere right in there. Alright, let's take a look at rotation. Okay, now that's starting to add up a little bit. And when I say add up, you can't see it on your screen because I got it zoomed in, but you can see this brighter green right there, right here. This is a stronger area of rotation right here. So you can see there's still rotation here, but there is the rotation is intensifying. We're just to the northwest of Prairie City, to the southeast of Ralph. So again, this is a tornado warning for Harding and Perkins County. Go back to reflectivity. Ooh, wow. Look at that. That's a hail core, ladies and gentlemen. This is a hail producer. Very large hail with this storm. I mean, this area in white right here. This is a very large hail core. I mean, my color chart is actually maxed out right now on colors because of the intensity of this hail core. So switching over to hail tracker, as you can see, pretty large swath of red, dark red right here, almost in the center of this tornado warning, this north central part of this tornado warning box. That's your larger hail. But as you can see from Ralph, I mean, you can see this whole area in red. That's hail. So to repeat, going back to reflectivity, we got severe thunderstorm in effect for Harding and Perkins County until 7:30 p.m. out in daylight time. We also have a tornado warning in effect until 7:15 for Harding and Perkins County. So, with that being said, this is the current update, and then if we look north, I mean, this is still looking at from the Rapid City radar, folks. So, switch over to the Bismarck radar. So, as you can see, looking into North Dakota, as you can see, you got a lot, just in this tornado warning cell into Harding and Perkins counties on the bottom edge, it's on the bottom backside of this line. And when I say back, I'm talking the bottom part of this line. But anyway, this is going to move across the state of North Dakota. This tornado, the worst of it right now is in South Dakota. Right now, the worst of this is in South Dakota with that tornado warning storm. I mean, you can see in this, and this just shows you how tall this hail core and tornado warning cell is. I mean, the white, which is normally hail, is being picked up off the Bismarck radar, in addition to the Rapid City radar. I mean, even looking at that storm, I mean, you can see the returns of that storm in Harding County all the way from the Minot, the radar up in Minot, North Dakota as well. So we're looking at distance here. So this thing has to have a really, let's get back down to the Rapid City radar here, because I have a hunch that that thing probably has a very impressive echo top to it. And that it does. I mean, you're looking right where the cursor is. You're looking at about 50,000 foot on the top of the clouds. Ooh. So let's look at this right here. Let's point this out right here. We got a hook forming here. You can see this inflow right here. This is why you got that classic hook gecko forming. I'm willing to bet you there. Let's look at the rotation. I'm willing to bet. Let's look at the velocities. Oof. Yeah, still a lot of rotation there. I mean, it's possible there could be a tornado with that. There's definitely some really strong winds with this. Well, let's look at the probability tools. Well, this is only so this right now is more of a straight line wind hail threat because this is telling us 99% probability of hail, 82% probability of straight line winds, and only a 3% probability of a tornado. I want to say that probability, in my opinion, I think the probability of a tornado with this storm is higher than 3%. Tornado warning remains in effect for another 23 minutes for Harding and Perkins County. So, with that being said, I'm Landon Wiley. We've been talking about a tornado warning storm into Harding County that's now moving into Perkins County. This is gonna, okay, we just got an update on the severe thunderstorm warning. 6:50 p.m. Severe thunderstorm was located 7 miles southeast of Ralph or 24 miles southwest of Hettinger, moving east of 40. Again, 80-mile-per-hour winds and baseball-sized hail possible with that storm. So, areas in yellow, inside that yellow box, that's severe thunderstorm warning. Areas inside this red box is a tornado warning. So, bottom line, if you're in the path of this incoming storm, take cover now. Very dangerous, very destructive storm. As you can see, around Buffalo, we had some 3-inch hail and 85-mile-an-hour winds in Buffalo earlier with this storm. So, big storm producer here. But stay tuned for further weather updates. But again, tornado warning remains in effect for Harding and Perkins County. Right now, this is in rural areas of Perkins County. So, I mean, the worst, as you can see, looking at the reflectivity, the worst of the storm is moved off into the western part of Perkins County. So, see, they just modified that warning box for the tornado. At 6:53 p.m., severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado was 6 miles north of Prairie City or 27 miles south of Hettinger, North Dakota, moving east 35. Radar indicated rotation. Still max hail size 2 3/4, so you're talking tennis ball size hail possible with this storm. So very tennis ball size hail. So you're talking some really large hail, folks, with this storm. And you can see right here in the area in pink, purple, white, that's still where our hail core is with this storm. Looking at looking at it from, this is the storm total rainfall. And you can see this storm's producing quite a bit of rain. The light blue is a trace to half an inch. The green is half an inch to 1 inch. Yellow is 1 inch pushing, and you see a few spots of orange here. That's pushing 1.5 inches. So a lot of water there too. All right, back to rotation. Not much there, new there to. Still a couple areas of rotation. Well, this is the velocity, but normally when the winds start meeting going toward and away from the radar, that's normally an indication you got some spinning of the atmosphere happening. I'm not seeing any reports of any funnel clouds with this, but there's definitely a lot of weaker spin developing, so all right. So we might be back up to close to 2.25 inch hail possible with that. I would say at least golf ball size hail coming down with this. Maybe it's somewhere in between golf ball and tennis ball size hail. Big storm here. Lemon, this is going to be coming toward you shortly. The worst of it, I think, is going to stay toward the south of the city of Lemon, but as you can see, a lot of stuff going on here, and this could also have, and this thing has not shown any signs of dying down. There's a lot of energy in the northern part of South Dakota. I do anticipate the Storm Prediction Center here to expand. Oh, geez, how big is that? All right, let's pull the Aberdeen radar up. No. And there you go, the Storm Prediction Center. And this was what I was just going to say. I thought they were going to extend this severe thunderstorm watch east for the counties in South Dakota, but what the Storm Prediction Center has done, as you can see this, so this includes Campbell, McPherson, Brown, Marshall, Roberts counties in South Dakota, and then this, I want to get over to the Bismarck radar here because I want to take a look at this thunderstorm over here by Jamestown, because that thing has to be a pretty big storm as well. I mean, so bottom line is all these counties in yellow, which again does include the city of Aberdeen, and they went ahead, Storm Prediction Center has issued a tornado watch. This includes the Fargo-Moorhead metropolitan area, the Grand Forks area. This includes Minot and the city of Bismarck, along with Aberdeen, South Dakota. So you got 4 major towns in the Dakotas under this tornado watch. So basically what's going to happen is this line of storms that just is going over Dickinson right now. This is going to go just follow I-94 straight east, and when it gets east, it's just going to start keep intensifying. And what is the storm? Okay, so when I switch, now look at this. Look at our lightning counter here, folks. I mean, I switched to the Bismarck, North Dakota radar, and look at how many lightning strikes compared to what that one thunderstorm in northwestern South Dakota is producing. So there's a lot of cloud ground lightning with that almost 3,000 lightning strikes being detected off the Bismarck radar. And some really large hail as well. So currently in the hub city, 92 degrees, dew point of 75 in Aberdeen. That is muggy. That is just plain out muggy. Wow. I mean, down in the state capital in Pierre, 93 degrees with a dew point of 69. Coming out here to Rapid City, as you can see, 100 degrees with a dew point of 21 with relative humidity of 6%. So there's a lot of dry, and that's the thing. You got the dry air out here in western South, out here in the Black Hills. That's what's prevented the Black Hills from not being included in this. Was it pretty much the heat, today's heat, and hot, dry air act as a blocking mechanism when you have, in turn, all this moisture. You got the heating and the moisture to work with over here into central and eastern South Dakota. So tornado warning remains in effect for Perkins County for another 11 minutes. Alright, so it looks like I'm going to go back to the Rapid City radar here once. Now, here's another little interesting thing I want to point out. Over here by Martin, you can see there's a couple showers trying to get going there, but again, it's out of that dry slot into that more humid air. Doesn't mean like in winter, for example. As you can see, in winter, South Dakota, 97 degrees. Relative humidity, 65 degrees. Or dew point, 65. Relative humidity, 35%. So, again, kind of looking at things again from the Aberdeen office right now. Again, that's current. So again, to recap, Campbell, McPherson, Brown, Marshall, Roberts County, all these counties in yellow are under a tornado watch. So that includes all of the central and eastern part of North Dakota, all but and almost 4 of the 7 counties along the North Dakota border in South Dakota. So still a relatively large hail core with this storm over here into Perkins County. So with that all being said, if you live in northeastern South Dakota, central North Dakota, eastern North Dakota, you need to have a way to get emergency alerts, because this is a very dangerous situation that has developed. And again, these storms aren't letting up, they're only strengthening in energy. So I'm Landon Wiley. You've been watching Weather Coverage. Thank you for tuning in.